First and foremost, it's really all glory to God. It's all a blessing. Without him, none of this would have been possible. But we knew, it's a lot of hype coming into the game. And, with Coach Sanders coaching a pretty good Jackson State team, them coming in 3-0. And really, it's just a battle for the East. We knew the task at hand, and it wasn't anything personal. It was just business. Coach was telling us all week, don't get caught up in anything that you don't need to be caught up in. Control what you can control. And we got with the O-line, and we really liked the scheme that we had set up, and we just executed. And I feel like it definitely pushes the program, in a good direction going forward. We enjoy the day, but at the end of the day, we got to look forward to Arkansas Pine Bluff next week.
Ezra, congratulations on your academic excellence and also your excellence on the gridiron. Again, it's a victory. It's Jackson State. It's Hornets football, and it's got to be a beautiful thing. Just talk about earning that W today and helping your fans get what they want, and that's a W.
Oh, this W definitely meant a lot. We were unfortunate, and we couldn't come away with the W when we played Southern. So really, it was really just about washing this bad taste out of our mouth. As soon as we came in from after that game, we got straight in the film room, straight in the weight room and recovery, went straight to work, and we really just working with a chip on our shoulder. Every game is important, but this game was especially important because it was an East Division game, and we know we got to conquer the East to get to the SWAC championship where we're trying to be in May.
It's SWAC football. It's spring football. What's different about it? Is it just football, or does it feel different because it's in the spring?
Oh, of course, football is definitely football, but it has its differences as well. For one, the weather towards the beginning of the season, when we're practicing in the morning, we'll have real cold practices. So guys got to kind of dress warm and get used to that climate. But, as it's going, it's feeling like spring break. Today really felt like spring break out there. So I'll say that's one of the biggest differences with playing a spring season.
In closing, what else would you say about this victory? It's a sweet victory over Jackson State, and it's really just about Alabama State University. But what would you say? What's your takeaway from this particular game?
One thing I like to say is the race isn't given to the swift nor the strong, but those who can endure. This win was great, but it means nothing if we don't continue on with the progress. So I say we just have to keep moving forward.
And one last question. A lot of people focus only on the athletic part of it. You've been blessed to focus on the books. So you hit the books and you hit the gridiron. Can you talk about that?
Oh, it's all been God, honestly. Just really talking to him every day and setting up my schedule and where I take time to make time for things that are important. A lot of the side stuff that I would like to do, I got to realize it's all about business now. I got to take care of business. And at the end of the day, you got to know what you're working towards. And I definitely have an end goal in my life and what I like to achieve. So if I'm not in progress of achieving that, I feel like I'm wasting my time.
And you have a really great coaching staff there. Coach, talk a little bit about Coach and what he means to you personally.
Oh, Coach Hill-Eley, I admire him not only as a coach, but as a father figure. Coach Hill-Eley is one of those coaches that he always says, all the coaching aside, if you in you in a dark alley at 3:00 in the morning, you call him, he either gonna be to your left, to your right, or he gonna be behind you. He's one of those coaches that always backs us through thick and thin. He's never been a selfish coach. He's never been a me guy, anything like that. And I definitely have a lot of respect for him.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
So, Ezra, congrats on the great game. I mean, have you ever gotten, personally in your career, over 200 yards of offense in a single game?
I think I have gotten, I don't know. I was going to say Texas Southern from last season, but I think that was like 130 or something like that. How many yards did I go for? I don't even know my stats.
I think like 195 or something rushing, and then an extra like 14, 15 passing or receiving.
Oh, okay. So. That's new to me. I didn't even know what my stats were.
Yeah, I mean, so, okay, stats aside, when tonight or today, I guess, did you feel that, you were in a rhythm, that like, you had the two big runs, obviously, but, what today, felt that you were in a groove?
Yeah, I mean, from jump, with the film studies with the offensive line this week, we knew the type of plays that would be there And honestly, we started kind of shaky, and I was losing my footing on a lot of those plays where I saw seams being created, but I just wasn't fortunate enough to be able to hit them early. So when we went in and made adjustments in the second half, we just had to settle down, stay patient, and we knew eventually it would open up and we'd get what we wanted.
And this is kind of a fun one. After the game, I think a lot of people noticed that the scoreboard flashed a photo of young Deion. Yeah, I know some people were like, I'm thinking, did you notice that? And what are your thoughts if you did?
I noticed that at the end of the game. I'm just looking at the crowd. I see water all in the air. I'm seeing like alumni players who I played with back in the day. They everywhere. And then I glanced up there and saw young Deion up there. And I feel like he's definitely a great role model. He's a guy a lot of young athletes aspire to be like. So, props to him for creating a legacy for himself.
Ezra, what do you want to tell everybody at home and all the people out there? They love the SWAC, they love the Hornets, they love HBCU football, but not everybody could come out. People have face masks, people are sanitizing, people are sick. What do you tell everybody out there? They want to be around it, but sometimes they can't be there.
I know it's definitely a going time, but at the end of the day, you want to put your safety first. And I know it's real fun to see everything that's going on in the festivities, but at the end of the day, you want to take care of yourself. And I know we get COVID tested about 3 times a week, but the SWAC's gonna be here, and whether it's this season or next season, the SWAC's always gonna be here. So I definitely say stay patient, and whenever you feel like you can catch a game or it lines up for you, I definitely come out. Alabama State Hornets, we're gonna put the SWAC on notice. I seen a lot of people throughout the week count us out. It seemed like the whole country counted us out, and we knew from jump we all we got. So that's what we sticking to.
Well, good evening to everyone. What a game. It was a great SWAC contest. Those kids on both sides played hard. We just made one more play than they made and was able to get out there with a win. Long game. I think Jackson had 104 plays. Offensively, we had about 80. So it was a contest that both teams scored, moved the ball. Again, Jackson is a much improved team, played extremely hard. I thought the quarterback that they had did some good things of extending plays and keeping them in. But our guys, Ezra Gray, started off rough first half. Second half just got stronger and ended up making the game-winning touchdown at the end. And Ryan Nettles is steady Eddie. He's been going pretty good and it's definitely improving. So we'll take it. Got some things to clean up in our kicking game. We have to stop that ball on the kickoff return. So we just got to find either schematically or some guys that want to go down and make the play. But we'll take the win and we'll fix those things that are broken.
Hi, I'm sorry, I have some questions. Am I ready?
Coach, when we spoke a couple of days ago, you talked about the energy that these guys had, how they were locked in, they were ready to take on the challenges that Jackson State posed. So just from your perspective, how well did they adjust? I know you said the first half was a little bit rockier than the second, but how well did they adjust to that energy?
Well, you know what, I think, again, the platform that Deion Sanders has over at Jackson and that he's had over the years from the fans to the players, to be in that same arena, it takes them a while to get adjusted. And then as we got through the game and got to the end of the game probably should have been over at the 2-minute mark, but we lost our character, threw a kid down and stood over top of him and gave him a new set of downs. They ended up getting a score from that. So, just being able to belong. And that's the thing I tried to talk to the young men about, is to belong, to act like you've been there before, to be in a situation where you're not, a groupie, but you're one of the people on stage. But they're young folks. They're very impressionable. We just have to find a way. We're not going to see a team that has all the bells and whistles that this team had on the sideline, and we'll be, get things back aligned and we'll go forward.
And you mentioned Nettles and his performance today. How has he kind of stepped up into that role of starting quarterback and really become your guy?
He stepped up and he's taking charge. He had a play here where he threw an interception, but the interception was actually a batted ball through the running back's hand. But again, he's resilient. He didn't, drop his head. He didn't give up. He came back and made some great throws and was able to get guys in the end zone and make, we was able to make adjustments with him, and he was able to get those things done and execute.
Coach, I saw that during the game, Colton went down. I think with the shoulder, something holding up her body. I didn't see him come back in. Is there an update on him?
Well, no updates on him yet. We're still checking everything out to make sure, whatever's going on, whether it's a stinger or whatever it may be. But, he's a tough kid. So, we'll get there. And if it's x-rays, the docs or whatever, they'll call me later and let me know what's going on.
I think this is the second game in a row for you guys where the defense was, presented in a pretty rough spot, kind of backs up against the goal line, and they made a stop, or at least held them to a field goal. Did that twice today. Colton was involved in that. I guess, what does it say about that group that they're able to kind of, bull up when, they're pushed back against the wall?
That defense is stout. They, as we say, bend but don't break. You'll see, every now and then they'll give up a play, but then they'll shut them down. And to be able to hold them to 2 field goals is really what the outcome of the game was. If they get one of those scores, it's overtime. So Coach Pearson and those guys do a good job week in and week out, getting those guys prepared to play.
I noticed the post game, everyone was enjoying the win. The scoreboard flashed a photo of young Deion. I don't see if you noticed that, and if you had any thoughts on it.
No, I don't look up and around most of the time with that. I'm just, when the game is over, there's so many different emotions involved. So I try to scan the field to make sure, there's nothing else going on but sportsmanship with my guys. So I really don't get caught up into, what's going on in the game, the theatrics or whatever may be added to it. So I was mainly just looking to make sure that we was transitioning over to the alma mater and back to the locker room.
Yeah, that seemed like a pretty it was a fun, lighthearted thing. I know people on social media are talking about it. Was that something that you knew was going to happen?
No. Travis Jerome and his staff, they all do all that stuff. I'm only in charge of those guys that's in the helmets. Everything that happens around goes to the administration.
Anything else?
What is yeah.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on the first one in the season. This is the second game where your offense has kind of started off a little slow and your defense has been ready to play. So what do you think that says about, or what adjustments do you think your offense needs to make in order to stop, coming out of the gate slow?
Well, you know what? I got a bunch of young guys on offense, a bunch of redshirt freshmen on the offensive line, a redshirt freshman quarterback. I hate to say it, but sometimes they just got to get hit in the mouth before they get peed off and just ready to play. And I don't know if we need to just start peeing them off in the locker room before they come out or what, but whatever it is, we'll fix it, and we'll try to find a way that they can come out faster, because it's going to be some games that we're going to have to come out fast, because as you go in different games, we hoping that every week in and week out, the defense will be stout enough to buy time for us. But if they're not, we're going to have to be ready to respond.
Anything else?
I guess, Coach, to kind of wrap it up, what does a win like this kind of do for the program, knowing the platform that Deion brings in, and then be able to, win a good game in front of the home fans?
Well, you know what? It's a game, man, that you're going against a Jackson team that was 3-0, ranked in the top in all the polls, and to be able to go in and validate our program is something that we needed. And as we told the young man, it was our time to make things happen, and they stepped up to the challenge. Didn't get caught up in the awe of the moment. Had mistakes, but kept fighting to the end. And as they fought through those adverse moments, they was able to get out of there with a touchdown at the end and seal this thing off.
Coach, that Jackson State victory has to be special. Any victory is special, but anytime you help the Hornet Nation and you get a W for your fans, it's always a beautiful thing. How special was today's game in particular?
Well, it's always special because, you know, you're going against a Jackson team where even, you know, some of our fans, you know, they love Deion too. So they was rooting for him more than their own team. So which is kind of crazy for me. But, you know, we just keep working. Who's with us is with us, you know what I mean? And I mean, I had guys come over and say, oh, well, once Deion see our stadium, he gonna wish he was here. I mean, and then still ask me for tickets. So hell, maybe that'll help them keep me here a little longer.
Definitely. And finally, the fans, they get an opportunity to see some good SWAC football in the spring. A lot of times they have to wait and just only get a spring game in, but it's got to be special to give them some football during this time of year when we've been through a pandemic and really just a time in which people are have a lot to look at in terms of the pandemic and just the times that we're going through.
Well, you know what, after, you know, having an opportunity to play in the spring and after 15 months of being off, I like to commend every coach at every program because the young men are, you know, are sound and you talking about playing some good football. A game like this being played between these two teams down to the end, you know, and being on a national platform, we gained a lot of fans. You know, everybody that loves football, this is the only show that's going on, and we're picking up people that normally wouldn't watch HBCU football and let alone the SWAC. So I think they see that, you know, our brand is good. Our universities do a good job of putting things on and creating an atmosphere that people want to be a part of.
Mr. Ezra Gray talked about not only the academic excellence, but also giving his all in the classroom and on the field. Can you talk about that, gentleman? And again, a beautiful game, and it's the fruits of hard labor.
Well, you know what? Ezra is a young man that's 4.0 off the field and 4.0 on the field. And he has a lot of charisma where he has a lot of young men that's on our team that's following his footsteps. You know, you see more and more guys walking around with books and going to the tutorial labs and study halls. You know, before, you know, Ezra got to his senior year, you know, we may have had 20 some guys with a 3.0. Right now, we have 50 guys on a team with a 3.0. And that's our statement, you know, to the team that if you do everything that he does and even fall short, that's worth a 3.0. And it's been proven. And, you know, he does a great job as a leader. And I'm just glad to be able to coach a guy like that.
Coach, when you have a football team that comes in feeling good about themselves and they're undefeated, and then they come into the Hornets' nest and they feel that sting, how special is it to know that you guys really built the foundation and you really worked hard and did it the old-fashioned way? Guys are working hard and it paid off today.
Yeah, they're really working hard. And as I told the guys, you know, going out, you know, you hear all the hype that was coming out of Jackson, and, you know, we're just this little small school in Montgomery. We don't know how to coach in Black College. And as I told the players, once they get back to Jackson, you know, let them take a good bath and soak in some Epsom salt and send me my shoe back.